With the lack of viable three-point shooting on the back end of this Warriors roster, Golden State has decided to bring in stretch big Davis Bertans in for a workout, and he hopes to land with another NBA team this season and earn a training camp invite with Golden State. That's what we're going to unpack on today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. But before we do, guys, every day that passes by, we get closer to Warriors basketball. Training camp is less than a month away. So if you're hyped, if you're ready for this new season of Golden State Warriors basketball with really a new cast of characters in the Bay Area, go on ahead and hit that like button, and we'll get started with today's show. What's going on, Dub Nation? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am Tyler Smith, and on today's show, we're going to dive into the Golden State Warriors hosting Latvian stretch big. He's a free agent right now, Dāvis Bertāns, in for a workout before the start of 2024 Warriors training camp. He's hoping to earn a camp invite, and we're going to unpack how he may be able to fit on this Golden State Warriors roster on today's show. So we heard originally from Mark Stein, the Stein line, one of the biggest NBA insiders out there. He tweeted out, Davis Bertans has been invited to work out for the Warriors as Golden State determines whether to extend a training camp invite to the Latvian sharpshooter, league sources tell the Stein line. Now, he looks back to last season where Rudy Gay earned a Warriors training camp invite last season after similar auditions. Now, Rudy Gay never actually ended up making Golden State's roster last year, so that is important to note that even if you're invited to training camp, doesn't mean you have a fast pass to the Warriors active roster for the start of the season. You still have to earn your keep and still have to make yourself worthwhile in a tryout kind of setting to get yourself a standard contract for this upcoming season. But does Davis Bertans have a standard contract for the season? It got kind of confusing here, as this is an Instagram story coming from Davis Bertans' agent. And it says Davis Bertans will prepare for the upcoming season together with the Golden State Warriors. Good luck in the Bay Area, DB. That tells me that Davis Bertans has been invited to Warriors training camp. You know, preparing for the upcoming season together? That sounds like they're going to camp and getting ready for this 2024-25 season. So does Davis Bertans actually have a contract set? Not exactly. Let's listen to this from Dalton Johnson of NBC Sports Bay Area. He said, regarding the picture Davis Bertans' agent posted on Instagram earlier, sources say Bertans has not been invited to work out for the Warriors, or has been invited to work out for the Warriors, but no camp invite has been extended. So has not earned himself a training camp contract, Exhibit 10 contract, whatever you want to call it, as of yet. Multiple free agents have been in every week. One source called Bertans, though, a good name to watch, which I think he is. Obviously, you know, like I said, new veterans in every week. We talked about Bruno Caboclo last week on the channel. It's yet to be known if he has been extended a training camp invite, but Davis Bertans is a guy who, throughout his NBA career, has been known for being a sharpshooter, and with this Warriors roster right now, kind of lacking high-end three-point shooting on that bench. No real stretch bigs on the roster, per se, as you know, as far as guys who shoot high volume. We know Draymond Green shot nearly 40% from three last year, but the volume was minuscule. Davis Bertans basically only shoots three-point attempts. I mean, it's crazy to know that Davis Bertans was drafted 13 years ago now. I actually had no idea. Before I looked this up today, I was like, Davis Bertans, probably a 2015, 2016 draft pick or undrafted, whatever happened. Maybe came over straight over from overseas as a free agent. But no, he was a 2011 second-round draft pick by the Indiana Pacers. Now, he was a draft and stash player because he didn't come over to the NBA until 2016, playing with the Spurs, playing with the Wizards, the Mavericks, Thunder, most recently with the Charlotte Hornets, who he was waived by on July 6th. So Davis Bertans has had a lot of stops, never really able to stay in one place too long and become synonymous with a certain franchise. And that's interesting because he has deficiencies on the court, which are probably the reasons that he has been shipped off to other places. Probably most notably in Washington was where he was most productive, and that was a couple of seasons ago at this point. But like I said, Davis Bertans does one thing, and he does it very well. He shoots the hell out of that pill, man. I mean, as far as guys who can extend their range and just be this standstill, catch and shoot, pick and pop kind of threat on the outside at 7 foot tall, you're not going to find many better than Davis Bertans. I mean, 38% or higher from three-point range in 3 of the last 4 seasons. Back in 21-22, I don't know what was going on with Davis Bertans. Those numbers are ugly. But for a guy who could possibly give you 10 minutes a night, or when you're really desperate on the back end for some shooting, Davis Bertans is a guy who you can feel confident in calling upon and being able to supplement an offense, per se. Not really so much in the defensive end. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But Davis Bertans can shoot the hell out of the rock. Catch and shoot three-point percentage, 39.2. Very solid. Above the break three-point percentage. This is probably the most important statistic for Davis Bertans, not only because he shoots it at a pretty high percentage there, 38.8%, but this is his highest volume shot in his diet. I mean, if you look at his left corner three-point percentage at 32.1, yeah, that's not good, but he only shot like 20 of those over last season. Right corner three, fantastic, 42.1%, but he only shot like 25 of those last season, or even maybe less than 20. Low numbers here in the corner. You're not going to find Davis Bertans hanging around along the baseline very often. You're going to find him trailing the play. You're going to find him in these pick and pop scenarios and shooting these above the break three-point looks. So 38.8%. If you can count on a 39% three-point shooter above the break, I think Golden State could have something here that is just a role player that isn't going to play every night, but is somebody who can just spot play on this Warriors roster and be able to supplement a bench unit that really, outside of, Buddy Hield maybe, has zero real three-point threats. Like, players that defenses are gravitating towards, not letting get off that three-point line or get an open look outside the three-point arc and helping space out the offense more. There's not many floor spacers on Golden State's back end, so Davis Bertans, these are numbers that could get you a spot on that bench. And when I talk about Davis Bertans and his shot diet, it is heavy three-point shooting. I mean, like I said before, there's one thing he does. It's three ball. And that's evident by the attempts that he took last year. 200 three-point attempts compared to 34 two-point attempts. You're not getting Davis Bertans putting the ball on the deck very often. You're not getting him, skying up for an offensive rebound and putting one back up. That is not his game, folks. He does one thing. Catch the ball, shoot the ball, repeat. I'm cool with that if you're filling a role and Golden State feels like they need to fill that role. So that's why I'm asking you guys next. Should the Golden State Warriors sign Davis Bertans? Do you extend that last spot on your roster to Davis Bertans so you have a little bit of three-point shooting, a little bit of three-point security on the back end of your roster? Let me know down in the comments. Type S for sign, type P for pass if Golden State should sign Davis Bertans or not. Next, we're going to dive into whether or not Davis Bertans kind of really fits in Golden State. Is he a viable option? Should they sign him? We're going to dive into all that in just one moment. Before we do, I got to tell you guys about the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the land, and that is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on each player's stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. As football season nears its start, one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free dubs. Don't miss this deal on PrizePicks because it's gone when September ends. You can also win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. It's the best way to get action on sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. You want to play PrizePicks alongside Drewski, Joe Budden, and MMA champ Sugar Sean O'Malley? You can now find them under the community plays, under the promos tab of the app, to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. As football season is getting closer, I have my picks for week 1 of the football season. And I'm taking advantage. I'm taking full advantage of Caleb Williams more than half a passing yard. Why would you not? That's a free square. That's a free win on your PrizePicks entry. Then, San Francisco 49ers. Brandon Ayuk just signed a big-time deal. Means he's going to want big-time production, right? So 54.5 receiving yards. We're taking the more on that as well. And as the Niners play the Jets in week 1 of the football season, I think it's going to be a real grinded-out matchup. I think it's going to be 2 of the league's elite defenses getting big stops in scoring territory. So I'm taking Jake Moody more than 1.5 field goals made. You can ride with my picks. You can fade my picks. Just make sure you go and do it at PrizePicks. You get $50 when you play 5. You can lose that 5. Doesn't matter. You're going to get $50 of free entries once you deposit $5 and place one. So head on down to PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. Run your game. All right. Does Davis Bertans fit into the Golden State Warriors roster? Now, I kind of alluded to it in the previous segment. I'm leaning yes, but let's really dive into it. Should they sign him? Can they sign him? How's it all going to go down? Let's talk about it, right? So Golden State, with their current scenario, as far as how their salary cap and their roster looks, this is the situation. So Golden State has 12 guaranteed salaries for the 2024-25 season. And I believe that number actually jumps up to 13 with the contract of Lindy Waters III being guaranteed after that trade, a little bit after that draft day trade was made. Now, the reason that they can't add a 15th player on the roster is because, remember, the Klay Thompson deal to Dallas involved players coming back to Golden State, Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson, in that 5-team mega deal. So with Golden State taking back more than 100% of what they sent out in Klay Thompson, this is what happens. The hard caps them at the first tax apron, and they're only about $500,000 away from that first tax apron, so there's no room to sign any players to a league minimum contract. So with the Warriors roster standing the way it is right now, I mean, you can't make many adjustments. And you even look at the end of the bench there. I got Quinn Post there. He isn't even signed yet. So Quinn Post, the Warriors' second-round pick, is going to be battling it out with these veterans like Davis Bertans and Bruno Caboclo to try to earn himself a roster spot here. But you got your starting five, right? I believe this is going to be the starting five when the Warriors begin their season October 23rd. Curry, Podziemski, Wiggins, Kuminga, Draymond Green. Then you got Buddy Hield and Moses Moody, D'Anthony Melton, Gary Payton, Kyle Anderson, Kevon Looney, and Trayce Jackson-Davis kind of rounding out your bench unit. I think Golden State is going to make a move, but I've been saying that for this whole summer, and it's yet to be seen if Golden State's going to make a big swing move to kind of free up some of the depth on this roster. But let's talk about how Davis Bertans would fit into this roster. Where is he going to fit? Obviously, it's going to be a front court guy, right? You're not putting a 7-footer on the wing or at a guard position, especially one who has maybe dribbled the ball like 5 times in his NBA career. So in the front court, Draymond Green is going to play more center minutes than you guys might like this season. It's the unfortunate reality. The Warriors still lack size, and Draymond Green is going to play minutes at the center position this season. Jonathan Kuminga, definitely not going to play minutes at the center position, but he is going to see a lot of minutes at that 4 spot. Am I a huge fan of that? Maybe, maybe not, because he doesn't have a super long wingspan and not the best rebounder, and isn't really a stretch 4 per se, but is improving that 3-point shot. Trayce Jackson-Davis, how's he going to progress in year 2? I have high hopes for him. I hope he sees a ton of minutes at the 5 spot. Kevon Looney, he's going to be your third center if you're counting Draymond Green as the first, but definitely the backup, in my opinion, if Trayce Jackson-Davis is going to be a day 1 starter. And then Kyle Anderson, not going to play any 5 minutes as well. This is him playing the 4, has a much longer wingspan, and can defend multiple positions and be a facilitator out of that high post and at the 4 spot. So Davis Bertans will be playing with this kind of group right here, but the Warriors had somebody last year that semi-resembles Davis Bertans and the way that he plays basketball. And that's Dario Saric. Now, he played in 64 games last year, 17 minutes a night. But toward the end of last season, Dario Saric was not really in the Golden State Warriors roster. And the big reason for that, not because he's a 38% 3-point shooter. No, that'd be a reason that he would stay in the lineup. The guy can't defend. And I think Davis Bertans not only is a bad defender, he is no defender. He's a worse defender than Dario Saric. I would say, as far as players who you could back the ball out, get a guard up at the top of the key, back the ball out, and take a player one-on-one, the highest success rate might be against Davis Bertans. And yeah, maybe it's bad that I'm saying 7-footer go against a guard, but I'm telling you right now, he can't guard. He can't guard off the dribble. He gets bullied in the paint. So there's no defensive upside here with Davis Bertans. You're getting him for one thing, and you're getting him for one thing only, and that's 3-point shooting. So his defensive ability, or lack thereof, to me, kind of puts a black cloud above, an actual signing of Davis Bertans. But I'm okay with sending out camp invites to whoever you want. Let them battle it out. If Davis Bertans comes into Warriors training camp and balls out and is shooting like 50+% from 3 in the drills they run and the scrimmages they have, then sign him, because you can't pass up on a guy who's shooting the pill hot. But at the end of the day, you're going to be putting him in big-time situations. This is somebody we're going to be worrying about in big-time situations. I don't want to have to take that chance. I don't want to have to take the chance that Davis Bertans lets up a 6-0, is the reason the Warriors let a 6-0 run-up that kind of takes them out of the game and shifts momentum the other way. I don't want to have to worry about that. So I'm fairly out on Dāvis Bertāns, in my opinion. But if he's shooting hot, then you extend the training camp invite and you see where it goes. Training camp does start October 1st in Hawaii, though. The Warriors are returning to Honolulu for the first time since 2007. So it'll be interesting. That starts October 1st, less than a month away, like I said. And then just 4 days later, you get the preseason opener, 4 o'clock Pacific, the Warriors, the Clippers. 2 teams that are going to look a little bit different this year. They're playing in Honolulu, Hawaii. Preseason opener. I'm ready. We're going to see new Warriors. We're going to see a jacked Buddy Hield, right? I don't know if you guys seen those pictures. Buddy Hield is looking ripped for the start of the 2024-25 season. I'm pumped up. Just wanted to give you guys that little note about the Warriors starting training camp as we are less than a month away. So, with that being said, Dāvis Bertāns, I'm fairly out. But like I said, if he gets hot, then I'm okay signing him. But you guys, do it right now. Name a player that Golden State should extend a camp invite to. There's a ton of free agents out there. There's a ton of players out there that Golden State could go try out for this upcoming season. Let me know who your guy is down in the comments section. And that'll do it for today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. If Dāvis Bertāns is signed, if Bruno Caboclo is signed, if any veteran free agent earns a training camp invite to the Golden State Warriors, you'll find out about it right here at Warriors Today. So make sure you go down there and hit that sub button for me. We'll see you in the next one. Let's go Dubs.